Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's Real Estate Vlog for North Texas. Today, we're going to talk about the impact of tech companies on the DFW real estate market. Okay, so we want to understand the growth of tech companies in DFW, and then how it kind of relates a little bit to to the real estate market in the Metroplex. So first of all, the Metroplex um, uh, has seen significant growth in the tech industry over, I'm going to say, probably especially since 2001. Okay, but that's kind of ramped up again in over the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years or so, with the advent of some newer technologies like AI and that kind of stuff, and it's obviously benefited local communities, obviously the local job market, and then these new companies coming in, then had a surge in, because of hiring, had a surge in housing, new employees relocating here, hiring of existing people who live here, and now they're able to kind of trade up on their homes, and so it's sort of like a you want to call it, may want to call it a domino effect. Hey, before we kind of get into all of that, we ask a favor of you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/at moving to Dallas. That's our YouTube channel for our team. If you like and subscribe to the channel, you'll get the notifications when we have new content available. And for us, that'll kind of get more eyes on our channel, pump us up the ladder a little bit, and that'll allow more new and fresher people to kind of see our videos and see our listings, because we post our listings on the YouTube channel as well, and that'll help out. That'll frankly just help out everybody. Thank you, and we appreciate it and we appreciate you. Hey, okay, so let's talk about, first of all, Pioneer Natural Resources. The Pioneer Natural Resources is in the sustainable energy and environmental responsibility. They're basically into sustainable oil and gas production. They're heavily invested in technologies that minimize environmental impact. Okay, this was also a company that a couple of years ago was bought out by ExxonMobil. Now everybody, like, frankly, there's half the country or half the world that hates oil and gas companies, but companies like ExxonMobil are working hard, to make sure that, number one, their product is environmentally responsible, and at the same time, they're almost working on ways to replace oil and gas through some of the technologies and R&D solutions that they're providing out there, for additional energy, production of energy. Okay. Hey, Bottle Rocket describes themselves as their focus is on mobile experiences and digital transformation. They work with organizations to create an impactful digital experience that can lead to significant improvements in health, education, and business efficiencies. So this is the kind of company that I used to work with in the past, to make sure that the business architecture, you may want to call it, is efficient, and that the technology that we're using in business is top notch, so that it'll benefit the company, and the company will be more efficient and more effective as a company, thereby reducing costs. Hey, Civic Plus, they're a government technology solutions, so they provide technology solutions and help to local and state governments to help better communities, enhance communication, and enhance platforms. So in other words, they're there to replace outdated technologies and platforms in a lot of our state and local governments, so that they run more effectively and more efficiently, thereby fewer breakdowns and fewer costs passed on back to the consumer, you may want to call it, which is all of us through taxes, right? Saber's like the 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? They were a leading technology company like 20 years ago. Okay, but now they're they're in the travel technology, and they focus on developing software and data solutions in the travel and transportation industry, making travel more effective and more efficient. Match Group, the focus is on online dating and relationships. They own companies or own applications like Match.com and Tinder, those kinds of applications. And then what they say is that they connect people. They create platforms to connect people, either in the area of dating or just communication or just making connections in life. Okay. And then RevTech Ventures, you kind of know that you're starting to really build your base when you get support for startups and venture capitals. Okay, so RevTech Ventures focuses on the retail technology space and innovation, and they invest in and support startups that revolutionize the retail space, which is great because they're located right here in the Metroplex, and that means that they at some point real soon the Metroplex will become sort of a hotbed for retail technology and retail innovations. So it's like all good. Hey, so what's a summary of that? So as these tech companies, more and more tech companies gravitate towards the Metroplex. And here's the deal, right? So you have a few tech companies like the ones I just mentioned, plus others that have been around for for years and decades, right? More and more tech companies will move here or start up here. Why? Because there'll be then a sort of a growing growing atmosphere of technology in the Metroplex. And therefore the tech companies that come in will realize, well, I won't have to look to someplace far away in order to hire new people and bring new people in, and then it'll become a magnet or an attractor for more and more tech companies. And then the Metroplex, DFW Metroplex, will grow in terms of more companies, more tech companies. That will increase the need for housing and communities to grow our economic base and the economic base and modernization that we have here, throughout the Metroplex. So it's all good, so it's outstanding that these tech companies are kind of moving here. And you might want to think of it in terms of way back when Detroit or Michigan, okay, there was a lot of Detroit though, had all the major car manufacturers there, because they knew that if we needed somebody, for example, to design a better transmission, well, I can go over to that company, maybe steal their guy, to come over and design transmissions for me. So they all kind of gravitated to the same area because they knew that all those people were in Detroit, or at least in Detroit or the Michigan area, right? Same thing if you think about California with all the tech companies out there. I mean, that's where a lot of technology innovation that we have today grew out of California, because they were a hotbed and they had venture capital and they had all these companies kind of grouped together. So the fact that DFW is kind of growing in that area is outstanding. Hey, next week we're going to talk about something a little bit different, something near and dear to all of our hearts. We're going to talk about taxes in Collin County. Okay. Now, the truth of the matter is that taxes, what we're going to talk about is Collin County has a low tax rate, but the different areas or the different cities inside of Collin County each have their own tax rates. We're going to talk about that, and you can almost just about take that and do a photocopy of that and translate that to Denton, Denton or Dallas or Wise County. And Wise County taxes are going to be low, a little bit lower. In Denton, in Dallas and Tarrant County, the taxes are going to be a little bit higher because of the concentration of the city there. But next week again, we're going to talk about taxes in Collin County. I hope you'll join us. Hey, I am Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. So long.